Hello and welcome to Let Me Bore You to Sleep. My name's Jason Newland. Yeah. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. And this is Q&A Friday. Q&A, Q&A, Q&A Friday. So I've got some questions. I've got 5 or 6 questions that's been asked of me and that have been posted on my Facebook group, Jason Newland's boring group. I forgot the name of it. That's terrible, isn't it? Who's sending me love? Thank you, whoever it is. It's very kind of you. Who is it? Someone lovely. Someone lovely is poking on the screen. So that's very nice. I do appreciate it. Unfortunately, I can't have anyone join me on the actual broadcast on TikTok because I'm broadcasting live as well as recording it for my podcast on video and on audio. I've got a microphone here somewhere. You can't see it, can you? So, at the end, I might do a little hello and stuff right at the end, but right now, what's the time? 24 minutes past 7, 8, 9. So yeah, I'll do this, then it'll be about time I had my din-dins. Yeah. So, but you're welcome to stay and just chill out if you want. Up to you. So, just to let you know, those that don't know, I do have a website called jasonnewland.com where all my recordings are. I've got a YouTube channel where all my videos are. I'm also, my podcasts are available on all the major podcast places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Spreaker, loads and loads. Also, I post these videos onto X, Instagram and TikTok once I finish the video, when it's all done. I can only upload 59 minutes at the max on there. So if you want to see the whole video, if it's a long video, it's worth going to my YouTube channel. I also post them on Facebook as well. So you can watch the whole video on Facebook. Just search for me on Facebook. You can join my group, Jason Newland's Boring Group, if you like. Yeah. So, right, Liam Davis, you're banned from the planet. So again, people, anyway, I'm going to ignore that. So it's probably some 2-year-old that's just learned to spell. So let's just ignore it. In fact, how do I ban people? How do I do that? How do I... So I've got to start looking, but then people don't use their real names anyway. I've got 3 new messages. How do I get rid of people? So Liam Davis. Let's have a look. How do I ban them? Invitation sent. Really? I didn't mean to send an invitation to the person that's just called me a name. I was trying to ban them. How do I ban them? Block. That's it. Block. Block. Yeah. Done. Right. Got ya. Done. You blocked. That's good. I have to learn to do that more. Brilliant. I've never been so happy. So, Basically, on a Friday, that those that haven't watched or listened to me before, I do Q&A Friday, and I just answer whatever questions have been given to me during that week. But as I'm on TikTok, I will also answer any sensible questions that are given to me on here as well. Okay, so CC reps, remember we used to get chippy chips from local? Nope. No, I think you're thinking of someone else. Used to get chippy chips. Chippy chips, what's a chippy chip? So I think you're not sure what chips are. Chips, if you call them chippy chips, is it like a new thing for you? Isn't that something a toddler would say? We go chippy chip. We go chippy chip. What is it? CC reps. Do you want to go to the chip shop? Chippy chip. Chippy chip. We go boom boom in boom boom. Go chippy chips. Chippy chips. Go boom boom. Sausage. Could get a sauce with a chippy chip. Maybe. Anyway, so what's the first question I've got? Oh man, you know what? Today I did the longest hypnosis recording I've ever done ever. Ever. I've not edited it yet, but we're looking at about 2.5 hours. CC Rep says, nice haircut, you melt. Oh, nice haircut, melt. I heard someone say melt. I'm going to say it to everyone now. A haircut. Oh. For a kind, someone's lose those flags. Okay, so new to live, are you new to live, or you're right, mate? I'm pretty I'm quite new to it. Yeah, I'm going to ignore the comments now, so I'm just going to get on with the thing. Chippy chip. Oh dear. So the sound you make when, see, is the thing is, what these do, these people that come onto TikTok, I'm not going to get caught into it because it will annoy me eventually, is they always have to go in one direction. It's the same thing, every single one. I ain't got an original brain cell, so it's a shame. Sean's another one. Okay. I mean, these probably aren't really their real names anyway. Okay. It's a shame. Why were you at my school yesterday? No. Rog. It's always blokes as well. Boys. Jason, I guaranteed it. Right, there's another one. So I'll get rid of him as well. Oh. Bless. So, how do I... Okay, block. I don't want to waste too much of my time on these REITs. So, I am... Can I join the live? No. Sorry, Jobia. I'm not taking live people. Also, blimey, I've already been held with a load of crap from people already. I don't want to... There's one thing hearing it, you know what I mean, the texts and stuff. But when they start saying it with voice... what's my first question? Oh yeah, that hypnosis recording. Hi everyone, was pretty phenomenal. Epic. Epic. And I can't believe I went through it. I just spent that much time talking, putting together a hypnosis recording, which is all about, letting go of past stuff. See, I'm on it. I'm on TikTok, and some people are being really, really horrible. But they don't realise that actually I'm not on here for that. I'm on here to help people. It's weird, isn't it? It's a weird concept that all they see is just someone that's a lot older than them, therefore a target. And ain't no one's target. It's kind of weird. It's strange. I'm not online for any kind of gratification of my own. I'm just on here to help people. That's what I've been spending 20 years doing this for. Bless them. So if I go to all comments, see Pixie Dust, invite Pixie Dust. If it's Pixie Dust that I know, I would definitely invite her, because I'd probably get 1,000 new likes. But if you are there, Pixie Dust, say hello. I follow Pixie Dust, and she's very popular. She's a very, very popular person on there. Sam says hi. So here we go. Let's get on with this. Ben asks me, favourite biscuit. What's my favourite biscuit? Now, I've given this some thought. Because wasn't there a question with Jaffa cakes? Are they biscuits or are they cakes? I mean, the fact they've got cake in the title, but they do go nice with a cup of tea. The chocolate melts. It's like, that jelly. But I was trying to think. I like a lot of different biscuits. I like ginger nut biscuits. Chocolate bourbons sometimes. Nice biscuits, I like them. You could argue, well, we all like nice biscuits, don't we? No, I mean the nice, N-I-C-E, where they've got them written on there. Or was it Nice? Nice or Nice? Are we going to include cookies? Because there used to be a cookie that Sainsbury's used to do, and I can't remember what one it was. It might have been, they do the cookies, the big cookies, and you get like 4 in a bag or whatever for £100. And they did Rolo ones, they did Smarty ones. I think it was the Smarty ones that are much crispier than the others. So I like the ones that were crispy and hard. I don't like soggy biscuits. You could argue, well, why are you dipping them in the tea then if you don't want them to be soggy? Good point. I'm trying to think. I started to think like, well, okay, how do I decide? What if I had to take just one, or choose one packet of crisps to take to a desert island, and it'd be a magic suitcase for biscuits, but the only biscuits I could have was that one type of biscuit forever and ever and ever, for the next 30 or 40 years. And I was thinking, okay, that changes the dynamic of the decision, doesn't it? Makes it more of a complicated procedure. And I don't know, I think I still keep coming back to digestives. McVitie digestives. I do like rich tea biscuits as well. So it's kind of... In fact, I had a biscuit. I think someone's on my lip. That's nice. It's coming back to haunt me. Oh, it's Friday happy Friday the 13th, everyone. Oh dear. And it's Valentine's Day tomorrow. Yeah! Valentine's Day! Whippy! Will we go Chip to go Valentine's? Go Chip. Have a Valentine's dinner at the Chip. Wow. I'm trying to think. What's those ones that have got toffee in the middle? So they're kind of like chocolate digestives. The dark chocolate ones. Oh, I don't mind the milk chocolate ones, but I like the dark chocolate ones, and they have to have come out of the fridge. I don't like chocolate digestives that are warm or even room temperature. I want them cold and dark chocolate. What's those? I don't know if they're classed as biscuits or whatever they are, but you know those sticks you get in coffee shops? Rizzes, whatever, like they're kind of Italianish things. Risotto, curacocchi, something, and they're very hard, and they got like nuts and stuff inside, and they're so nice. Risotto, Roy. Anyone know the name of them? I don't know. Mingle sent a rose. Thank you. I got a rose. I don't know what that means, but thank you very much. I appreciate that. Mingle. I like chocolate biscuits, but I'm not really that bothered about biscuits being chocolate if I'm going to have them with tea. I don't drink coffee anymore, but I do drink tea. So I'm thinking, for tea, if you're going to go like just for a cup of tea, what's the ideal biscuit for me? I'm probably going to go with digestive. Yeah, probably go with a digestive. But at the same time, it's I do get some messages that do make me laugh. I think, what's those biscuits that are like, they're smaller than chocolate digestives, and they've got light chocolate, like milk chocolate on the top, but inside is toffee. I like them, but not too many of them. Although I will eat loads, but I don't. It's not something I get generally. But then Kit Kats, I think if I was... I mean, Kit Kats, I mean, they're chocolate and they're biscuits, aren't they? Kit Kats are good with a cup of tea. But a cold Kit Kat, one out of the fridge. Or, it depends. If you're out in the cold, then one out in the cold with you. Benori. Is it Benori? Benoli? Benori. You know, those biscuits in there. I mean, they used to be in the Italian coffee shops. See, before things like Costa and I think before those, the major coffee places got established, generally we had just tea rooms or places where you get a cup of coffee. McDonald's, you get coffee. In cities, there was, in London, a lot of the coffee places were run by Italians. So it would be Italian food, not just coffee, but you get all kinds of stuff. I remember one place, and I was doing security, and it was in North London, and it was this it was this big former. It was called a mental hospital back then, but I guess it was a psychiatric hospital, it would be called now. And it was a huge place, really long. It was the longest hospital in Europe, apparently, but it was derelict. And there was this massive bit of ground. I'm talking absolutely massive. And there was accommodation where some of the doctors used to live. There was accommodation where some of the patients used to live once they were released from the hospital. So but they were cared for within, the grounds. And I never got to go into the hospital, but my job was to go around the grounds and just do my patrols. And it'd take about an hour to get around the ground. So really quite far up, I'd cross over the road. I wasn't supposed to leave the grounds. I left not the ground. It was like, what are you doing? I saw you jumping up and down. You're not allowed to leave the ground. I don't mean like that. But there was this Italian shop, or a delicatessen, that's what they were called, yeah, a deli. So I went over, crossed over, and I used to get my food there. Like pasta or like a hot meal. And I'd eat it, and then I just, so I'd go on my rounds, and I had to eat. I mean, I started off getting something there, but they weren't open. When I got to work, they weren't even open, because I was doing 12-hour shifts, you see. But I got caught. I don't know how, but the person who was in charge of the site said, "Oh no, you've been across that road," which means he probably left the place as well, which I think he was allowed to. It's just I wasn't allowed to. It's like, well, what difference does it make, really? It's literally across the road, and I was there just picking something up. I was there for like 5 minutes. and I'd have the same thing every day. I was in the park today, and some elderly lady, Vinny was like begging for food, and she said to Vinny, "No, you're not having any more treats because you need to lose some weight." Wow. I couldn't believe that. I'm like, really? You cheeky old mare, what the hell are you doing? Talking to him like that. I was like, he's not overweight. He said, what are you talking about? He's overweight. He's a healthy dog. He's getting more walks than most dogs around here. And yeah, he does have treats, but look, he's muscular. Look at his hind legs. He's got a lot of muscle on him. Telling him his belly's getting big. And she said, I'm talking to you. I'm talking about you. I said, oh, please, can't I have some treats, though? He said, no. It's like, oh. It's very rude. And I don't know where people get off being rude, though, about someone else's dog. I'm always nice, like, oh, lovely dog. I've had at least two people, they talk to each other, so I think they get a bit bored, I guess, so they discussing other people, which I am right now as well. So I'm kind of just the same, aren't I? But there's another person telling me, oh, he's getting overweight, he's getting fat. And there's another one as well, like, I got my limit. We all have a limit, and I don't like people calling Vinny fat. Don't body shame my little boy. Anyway, biscuits. Biscuits. I'm shaving my head tomorrow. Just thought I'd let you know. Shave my head. I've got itchy leg. Shave my head. There was a biscuit that my nan used to have, and I really liked them. But then I had so many, I went off them. Bifu, bofu, booby, I forget what they're called, but they're kind of long. They come in a packet, and they're kind of toffee-ish flavour. They're really nice, but I can't remember the name of them. I'd have to bunful. I think they might be French. Bunfu, bifu, bin, something like that. So I wouldn't say that digestives are my favourite biscuit, because in a scenario when I had every single biscuit in front of me and I could just choose any one, it would depend upon my mood, you know, it could be my, yeah, I've got moods for different things. I've definitely got a biscuit mood. The only thing I'm not really a big fan of is cheesy stuff. I like cheese itself, but you know those cheddar cheese biscuits? I don't like the cheese triangles. Oh, I don't like them. I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't mean to be judgmental about them, but I don't like them. Never liked them, Never, ever, ever liked them. I used to give them away at school. We were packed lunch. Oh, Vinny's here. Hello, Vinny. Hello. Good kisses. Oh. Yeah. I used to give biscuits away. When I used to give biscuits is when I got a penguin. Didn't like penguins. Didn't like them. They were the most meltable chocolate biscuits in the world. For some reason, they just melted all, like, you could be in the Antarctic, right? And someone a mile away, like, flicked a lighter, and the penguin would start melting. The penguin bar, not an actual penguin. And I just didn't like it. So I used to I think when I was in junior school, I was in love with someone, and I used to give her my biscuit. I used to give her, it depended what it was. If it was a penguin, I'd give her my penguin. But if it was a Kit Kat, she weren't getting nothing. She didn't get a single thing. Have you got a biscuit? What's the biscuit today, Jason? I said, no, I don't have a biscuit. She said, you always have a biscuit. I said, not today. She said, I can see it. What do you mean you can see it? It's in your lunchbox. Yeah, how can you see it in my lunchbox? It's a see-through container. It's it's Tupperware. I can see. It's a Kit Kat. I said, well, why are you asking me what kind of chocolate bar I've got if you can see it's a Kit Kat? She said, no, that's not really the point of the story, is it? I said, well, it is now. Now, if you start saying something like that, I'm going to pick up on it. And she said, I don't know, but I want it. Can I have the Kit Kat, please? I said, no. She said, but you always give me your chocolate bar, your chocolate biscuit. I said, no, not always. I give you a chocolate biscuit if I've got one that I don't like. I'm not going to give away something I like. And she was like, Theo's asking the question, oh, is that your dad, is it? What do I think about your dad? I don't know, I don't know your dad. And yeah, I was like, I don't like chocolate bar. I'm not going to give away my Kit Kat. It's throwing me off having these silly comments coming up. I might just stop with the going live. Theo, I'm not being mean. I just want to what you think about that bloke. Yeah, but people only ask me about that bloke is because I'm an old bloke myself. That's the only reason. Who cares? What do I ask me about someone that's in the news and stuff? It's not. It's relevant. Are you not? I'm doing a podcast here. I'm just trying to talk about biscuits, and you want to talk about some wrong'un that's plastered all over the news. I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, I'm doing a podcast. It's not live. I'm doing TikTok live just because for anyone that watches me, you can just be on here. Yeah, but my podcast is a Let Me Bore You to Sleep podcast. It's I don't talk about politics. I definitely don't talk about people that like that, that have done really horrible things. At the moment, I'm talking about what's my favourite biscuit. So you can get the level of political intelligence that I've got going on here. It's very low where I am at, like with what I'm talking about. And I know a lot of people think of podcasts now as, what's his name, Rogan, and the people that are on YouTube talking to each other, that's now classed as a podcast. It didn't used to be classed as a podcast. Podcasts were people talking on audio only, and people would listen on Spotify Apple Podcasts, like they still do. And then Joe Rogan moved to YouTube, and loads of other people started copying him, or copying the format anyway. And now that's a big thing on YouTube. So I don't talk to people, I just talk to myself. I'm talking to the people that are listening or watching, but I don't have spoken to people. And I'd be up for that. I'd be up for talking to people. If I know the person's not going to be horrible, and it's someone that I know is going to be nice, then I probably would, on a different podcast episode, have a conversation with them. You know? But the whole thing of, I've noticed that some people, they'll start off nice, and they're just waiting for that moment where they can start hurling horrible stuff. I'm beyond that now. It's not something that I need. I mean, I've been online for 20 years doing this stuff. So I don't, I'm not really the right person to kind of get into that stuff with, because I ain't got time. There's no time. I ain't got time for that. So what I'm trying to do is help people to fall asleep. The thing is, there's someone I can't even say their name. I know you're probably trying to be horrible too, but that was funny what you said there. Actually, it was so inspiring. It actually made me laugh internally. It's made me smile, thank you. But change your name though, come on, I can't read out your name, can I? You're going to take a bow, good. His name is, I think it's like Country Rat. I'm not going to call you mummy. See, the conversations only go weird on here. It's because I've shared this on Facebook. I don't know if any people that I watch that listen to me on Facebook are going to be there. They're going to be like on here wanting to say hello, but yeah. So biscuits. I do like cookies, but I don't like soggy cookies. I like brownies. I tell you what my favourite brownie is these days is the Papa John's brownies you get. Because, I mean, they are good. Really good. Probably the best brownies I ever had was when I was at school. Yeah, I was in high school. I went to school. So it's hard to believe, but I did. Long time ago. And didn't used to have school meals, which I kind of wish I had. I wish I spent my money that I was earning for paper rounds and stuff to eat more, because I did need to put weight on back then. I think it would have done me better, done me well if I'd have eaten more. But anyway, old Vinny's, if you can see Vinny, he can't, he's asleep on the, just there, just down there, he's asleep. But the school dinners, they used to have the brownies, and I would buy them, like 2 pieces a day, and I would stuff myself, and I loved them, because they were overcooked, which is exactly what I liked. Crispy, every bit of it was crispy. Oh, perfect, absolutely wonderful. And I would save a bit for later on, maybe for, I think, the break time, the next break time. I love this so much. Really, really loved it. I want to go back 40 years just so I can have a bit of brownie. A bit of chocolate brownie from the school canteen. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So I would say my favourite biscuit would be a chocolate brownie. Yeah, probably. But if we're looking at biscuits that you get in a packet, you know, such as digestives, jammy dodgems. See, I like a jammy dodgem. But I do absolutely love Jaffa cakes out of the fridge again. Yeah. Penguins. I don't know if penguins still exist. The chocolate bar, that is. I'd never have one. Never eat one of them. There's also one called a puffin that was brought out. And it's pretty much just the same as a penguin. Just with a different name. And it was kind of the same thing, really. Pretty much. I can't think. Oh, this is hard. I know this probably should be an easy question. Ben, who's asked the question, best biscuit. I'm not very good with deciding on stuff. So if I go into a restaurant, when I say restaurant, I mean like a local place with a tea room where they serve food and stuff, but not like a proper restaurant. I've not been inside a proper restaurant for... When's the last time I went into an actual restaurant? Do you class the Pizza Hut as a proper restaurant? Like an actual restaurant with a menu. Yeah, probably 2022. I did go to a place. I ate out a few times, 2022. But yeah, I mean, the last time I went to an Indian restaurant was 2015. I've had takeaways, but to actually go in and eat in, I think it was 2015. But I've got a memory of going in there on a different occasion. I don't know why that would be the case. I remember when I think I was 16 and I was dating this girl who was about the same age, I think. And it was the very first time I'd ever been on a date as a kind of adult. I'd left school at this point. So I was working full time. And she was kind of like my first girlfriend, kind of, sort of since I left school. And I took her to this... I don't know if it was the Indian restaurant or a Chinese restaurant, but I've got a vague memory going in there and having no idea what I was going to do. In fact, I might have actually pulled the chair back for her. If you're going to do that, right, it's very romantic, but you've also got to remember to put it back before they sit down. But I must have seen that on a James Bond movie once. I think it was a Chinese restaurant. I'm trying to place where it was. How strange. Yeah, anyway, that was my very first going out with someone, like an actual restaurant in my life. I mean, I've been in restaurants, like, as far as with family and stuff like that. I did have a date when I was 8. That was my first ever going out date, proper going out date, when I was 8. And I went with a girl from school, and we went and saw, I don't know what it was we went to saw, I can't remember exactly, but we went to the cinema, and there was two. It was a Saturday morning, there was 2 movies on. I think one of them was Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger or something, and that was like a movie from the 60s or something. And then we came, so I picked her up from her house, or my dad drove me there, and then we went back to her house, and we had, I think we had chippy chips. We had chippy chips for dinner. Chippy chips. And I'm not sure what else, but I know at one point we both got under the table and hid, and I think we had a kiss. And then we got up again and had more chippy chips. Chippy chips. And then I don't remember that relationship lasting very long. I don't remember a second date. I remember once I was at there was this, do you know those clubs, like you've got Labour clubs and Conservative clubs in the UK, and basically it's a club and people can go there, you've got to be a member, and they've got bars and have entertainment and all kinds of stuff like that. So I went there with the parents, probably my brothers as well, and there was a disco going on, so I'm dancing and I meet a girl. So I'm probably about 12, maybe 13, and I meet this girl and we dance and we fall in love. Well, I liked her. She liked me. We arranged to meet each other. So this is probably on a Saturday night. We arranged to meet each other, I think the next day, like Sunday afternoon or something. She gave me her address. I go round, and her dad answered the door. What do you want? I said, can I have some chippy chips, please? And we laughed. He said, you're still making fun of that idiot that was being rude to you on TikTok. I said, yeah, I know. And we both kept saying, chippy chips, chippy chips, chippy 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 chips. And then he said, seriously, what do you want? And I said, I'm here to pick up, what's her name? He said, well, you should know her name if you're picking her up. I said, I do know her name, but, we'll say her name then. I said, I can't say her name. Why not? Because it's 40 odd years ago. I can't remember her name. I'm just telling the story. Oh, but you remember me though, don't you? You remember me answering the door and us talking, joking about chippy chips? I said, no, I made that bit up. I mean, literally the chippy chip things just happened in 2026. Oh, this is getting confusing. It does sometimes. Anyway, go and get your daughter now. And I clicked my finger. I didn't. And she said, he said, Mum said so to her. She came out. We went down the stairs because there were stairs there. I didn't really have to mention the stairs, did I? There were stairs. If I'd have just missed out that we walked down the stairs, it wouldn't have changed that story whatsoever. Wouldn't have changed it. If I tripped and fell down, yeah, that'd make it a valuable point that there were stairs there. It's just like I'm walking down the stairs. I get to the bottom of the stairs, and I look to my right and I see a cat. Unless the cat does something that impacts the story, then no one's going to know, are they? It's not going to be irrelevant. So, you know, I don't know. But anyway, she told me that her dad said that she wasn't allowed to see me. And I said to her, but we're in love. And she said something that it stayed with me forever. You know, never forgotten it. She said, wait a minute. She said, no, it's gone. Oh yeah. She said to me, we only met last night. I said, yeah, I know. I was there. Why? There's a lamppost over there. Or we just given out a fact. There's a lamppost over there. You're treading in some dog poo. And she starts screaming like, why didn't you tell me? I said, I just told you. Yeah, but why did you have to wait until you were doing tit for tat? I said, tit for what? She said, tit for tat. I said, that sounds rude. She said, it's not rude. Yeah, but you said the word tat. We did have to stop and have a giggle at that because it was so ridiculous and absurd. And she looked down. She said, there's no poo there. I said, I know. And why did you say it then? I said, I don't know, I just thought if this was going to be our last ever conversation, that we should have something to remember each other by, you know? So that's what I thought. And she said, oh, it's so romantic. Should we run off to Gretna Green and get married? And I said, no, thanks. She said, why not? I said, we only met last night. She said, that's rude. I said, not really. It's realistic. I mean, besides, we're not old enough to get married. Yeah, but my dad's stopping me from seeing anyone. I said, well, nothing I can do about that. So I'm getting messages now saying, get off live. Get off the live. people that get telling me to get off the live are the ones that should be on the live. Show your faces, baby. Go on live and sit here and talk. Those people that are all rude and got something to say, you know, put your face on live and go and do this and see how you enjoy it, being battered down and being attacked. So, Vinny's there. I can't come to an Oh, what's those chocolate biscuit things that are in Riband? Is it Riband? They're in blue packets. I like them as well. But I can eat all of it. I could just eat a whole pack. Oh. Right, just have to do my... It's going to end in 5 minutes if I don't prove that I'm a human. Right, I've not really answered your question, Ben, about the biscuits. So, I do have a question here. What's this? Is what's my thoughts on gravy? Gravy. Well, unless that's a euphemism for something rude, I'm just going to assume you're talking about gravy as in stuff you pour over. And also, I'm going to assume you're not an American Italian, and when you're saying gravy, you actually mean tomato, like, sauce. Because, you know, gravy in this country is... doesn't have to be brown, but generally it's, you know, on Bisto. Bisto's all right. That's pretty much what I would use. I don't use gravy. I never put gravy. I've got some gravy granules, just in case I change my mind, but I don't generally have them. I mean, you do need to, I think they're good for if you're cooking stuff and use it as stock. I think stuff like Bisto and that is pretty cool, but I don't really cook, really. Not like that. Mine's more just very basic. Yeah. I can't remember the last time I used you got Bisto, gravy, Oxo. Is it Bistro and Oxo? They're kind of the two. Isn't it Bisto you get it in a tub, but Oxo's you get it in the square tin foil things? Laura says, I like KFC. Me too. Oh, it's making me want KFC now. Oh, yum, 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 yum. I love KFC. Let me tell you about my KFC story. Oh, excuse me. There was a time back in 2011. I was living in this place. And it was a room at the top of a house. And there was a kitchen at the bottom, but it was like a fridge. There wasn't enough room in the fridge for anyone, for 6 different rooms. And there were 2 of the rooms had 2 people in each. So there's 8 people in one house with one fridge. It's just it doesn't work. So I was only in there for a year. I knew I was getting out of there the very first time I could, but I had a year contract. So what I did is I bought sandwiches for the night time. I try and eat out during the day. Sometimes it'd be sandwiches. I was definitely living on Greggs for a while. or I would maybe go to a coffee place and get like a baguette or something like that, you know. But then I would take sandwiches home to eat them in the evening. And I'd do that all week. Like all, you know, Monday to Friday. Then on a Saturday, I would potentially go out, have a burger during the day, lunchtime at the Wimpy. And then in the evening, I'd get a pizza delivered. And on a Sunday, I would generally sleep in. I'd have a late rise, and then I'd get a KFC. I'd walk into town, which was literally a few minutes walk. It wasn't far. Walk into town and I'd order this big buffet of KFC, and I'd take it home and I'd just stuff myself. I might have had yeah, because it'd be like in the afternoon, probably about 4 o'clock, 3 or 4. So I probably didn't eat anything else after that. That's probably enough to get me through the day. So yeah, that's what I used to do. So KFC was actually a part. You shouldn't stuff yourself. It wasn't just chicken, it was lots of different things. And yeah, mainly chicken, actually. It's KFC, isn't it? I was sweet corn, I had a few of those. Or one of those, because you can get the little ones, can't you? But a big one. Not supposed to go in that hole. It was one of the few cooked meals I had in the week. I mean, I've not been to KFC. I've not been into the KFC probably since 2011. So what's that, 15 years? It's the last time I went in there. But I've had deliveries. The only problem is I live so far away from the town centre where all these places are, where they deliver them from, that they don't get to me. I mean, they're not even warm sometimes. The chips or the fries, always cold. And it's just pointless. So that's one of the reasons I don't really bother with KFC for a delivery, because it's just too far away. Yeah, I used to eat upstairs sometimes. I'm sure I went up. I'm sure I went into KFC. I went upstairs with Luke, my friend downstairs. Or maybe that was McDonald's. Maybe it was McDonald's, but I've got an idea. I definitely did go up in KFC. Maybe I just went up on my own. But I don't like to eat in public because I just spill everything. I'm a very messy eater. I mean, I'm not even joking. It's all over me at the end of it. So doing it in public's not always the bestest thing in the world. Yeah, I didn't enjoy living where I was living, and it was costing me a lot of money to live there. But I quite enjoyed eating on a Saturday and a Sunday. The sandwiches got ridiculous. I was so sick of sandwiches. It's either tuna sandwich or like cheese and salad. No mayonnaise. Thank you very much. It got very boring, and I did that for a year. Hell yeah. And probably ate way too many sausage rolls. So yeah, that's my KFC story. Although I've got more to add to it. At that time, before that time, in fact, no. At that time, like for the first couple of months, I used to go in there, and there was a lady that worked behind a counter, and I really liked her. She was Welsh, and that's not really relevant to the story, but she was funny. And I thought, oh, you're nice, you're funny. And I didn't tell her, but I just thought, she's lovely. And then it turns out she's friends with someone that moved into where I lived. So she started coming around. And she wasn't nice at all. Like, as a person, I mean. Or she wasn't nice to me. She probably was nice, but just didn't like me. And kind of ruined the KFC experience for me, if I'm honest. Oh, no, that's it. Someone moved in that worked at KFC. So she was coming around to visit him, then made friends with the other people that lived there. Because I was still one of the oldest people that lived there then. There was a time, hard to believe this maybe, but there was a time when I was the youngest. So when I went to London and I was in the comedy clubs, I was the youngest one there. Now I'm kind of the oldest person that's ever been on TikTok. Riley, why is it the boys that are the most rudest to me? I mean, to be fair, if you want me to shut up, you can just scroll, my dear. Just scroll down. There's no reason to be rude. Don't be rude, baby. Don't be rude. Oh. Did you fall over and scrape your knee? Did you cry? Did it make you cry? Just be nice. What I do find funny is sometimes I don't see the texts or the messages, and someone's saying something nice, and then I scroll back to see what other people have said, and they've been like being horrible to me for about an hour, and now you say nice things. It's like, yeah, no. So yeah, beep 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 beep. I can't really decide for the biscuits. The thing is, if it was a desert island and it was a hot desert island, then I mean I'd have to be careful, because I probably wouldn't want to be eating too many biscuits, because there's no doctor, no hospital. I'm probably going to have to sort of be careful what I eat, because there's not going to be any help, is there? If I don't kind of look after myself. And chocolate, there's probably not going to be a fridge, is there, on a tropical island? Now, Ben, you might be thinking, but I didn't even mention a tropical island. I just asked you favourite best biscuit. Didn't even put it in a whole sentence, just those two words. And okay, but I've had to add a little bit to it. I mean, I'm just thinking of different scenarios. What's my favourite biscuit if I was on a plane? Or if I was at work and it was my lunchtime, and I had to sit outside, or if it was my work but I had access to a coffee machine or a tea machine, or even was able to get stuff from a canteen, therefore being able to order biscuits. I just remember the biscuit I liked. What's those ones that have got lots of currants in, and they're flat? I mean, technically most biscuits are flat, but they're kind of they're kind of stuck together, but you just pull them apart. And you can get them in little packets as well from machines. Well, at least I did when I was working in a place that I left in 2007, which is 19 years. nearly 19 years ago, I left that job. Honestly, come October, or September, October time, this year, it'll be 19 years that I started my degree course. 19 years! I mean, I know it's 20 years since I started making videos and podcast episodes and stuff, but 19 years! I mean, making podcasts, that kind of seems normal because I've been talking about it being 20 years, but the idea that I left that job nearly 19 years ago to go to university. Wow. I left in the summer, but they forced me to leave because they said, because I was part-time, and they were saying, well, you either go full-time, go back full-time, or you leave, which I don't think they were allowed to do, but I don't know. It doesn't matter really. And I chose to leave because I didn't want to go full-time. And also I wanted to go to university, and I'd built my life around part-time hours. And I liked the job. I really liked the job, but as part-time, not full-time. And I really liked the people. I enjoyed the work, the atmosphere, the environment, and all that stuff. You may argue saying, well, the atmosphere and environment is the same thing. But I think there's slight differences. I mean, but yeah, anyway, maybe it is. But I liked it. But what I liked is the fact that I could leave work in the afternoon and then go and do voluntary work in a drug rehab place, an alcohol place, doing relaxation groups, things like that. And that's what made my life, gave me meaning to what I was doing. And also I was also doing the free pain relief stuff. So kind of the idea of going back full time didn't really sit with me very well. I nearly did, and then I sort of thought, no, I'm really going to kind of press to get on that university course. It wasn't guaranteed, so it was a gamble, but I did get on it, and I completed the course, and I got my degree at the age of 40 years old. Yeah. Wow. News guy says, you're alright today. I'm cool, thanks. Hope you are. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go with chocolate brownies. Heidi says, Ben, doesn't matter, I'm a real cookie monster. Oh wait, you asked Jason. But the word cookie or biscuit gets me out of... Okay, I won't read that bit. So, for me, I mean, I know cookies aren't biscuits, but they are biscuits, aren't they? Cookies are nicer than biscuits because they're bigger. Bigger. And they seem to be more creative. But I like them to be hard and crispy. I don't want it soggy. I want it just, when I'm looking at it, and it's in my face, I don't want it just to be floppy. I want it to be hard. So when I put it in my mouth, I want to like feel the firmness, you know, and crunchy. When I crunch it, I don't want it just to be like, because sometimes the cookies are so big that when you hold them up, they do just sort of wither a bit. They kind of they flop a bit. I want it to be, also, to be fair, the thing is with chocolate cookies, they can start to go a little bit melty. So, yeah. See, people are asking more silly questions on here. I only ask questions if they're like normal. Okay, thanks, baby. So what's the next question I've got? Ali, 1, 2, 3, 4. There is more. Oh, one. Cheryl asks me, superstitious, question mark, Friday the 13th, black cats, etc. I would say, when it comes to superstitions, I'm wary when it comes to Friday the 13th. A little bit. Just because a lot of people seem to be wary of it. So I think if I was going to go... If I was going to swim with the sharks for the very first time, I probably wouldn't do it on Friday the 13th. If I was going to bungee jump for the very first time, I probably wouldn't do it on Friday the 13th. If I was, it's it's a stable sentence there. I don't think I'd do anything particularly risky on Friday the 13th. But I'm not actually particularly superstitious. I like to call it stupid-stitious. I'm not really. Black cats, things like that. I used to be, when I was younger, I used to connect. I mean, it's just what dogs, it's like basic animals do, isn't it? It's the Pavlovian effect. Like, you connect one thing with another thing, and then, in fact, it's got nothing to do with each other. It just happens to have happened at the same time. So, let's say you're in a loving relationship, and you decide to seal the deal, as it were. Go take on the next step of marital bliss, whatever you want to call it. And in the relationship, and you both, should we do it? Yeah, let's all. And maybe you write each other letters, poetry and stuff, and you come to an agreement. And as you both get on, let's say you're laying on a bed for some reason, and the bed collapses. Just as that happens, there's lightning outside. Now, the bed collapsing means that the thing that you're planning to do is not going to happen, because maybe you got a spring up your bum or whatever, something like that, from the mattress. So everything's gone a bit wrong, Now, chances are the next time you hear lightning, you're going to think of a broken mattress and a bum spring. So, I suppose, just as an example, so I think when it comes to, black cats, that's clearly some kind of a witch thing, isn't it? Sort of mythology. Be careful of cats, because black cats are witches' familiars. But then you've got the cracks on the street. That used to be a thing that I would do. Or not walking on drains. That seems quite a practical thing, just in case the drain did break, but I don't take notice of that now. I don't really... I think my tolerance to that stuff happened when I was sitting on a bus with a friend, and she saw two magpies. So the bus stopped, to let someone on. She saw two magpies in the graveyard of this church, and she stood up, faced the window where the magpies were, direction, and she saluted. And there were other people on the bus. And I felt very embarrassed to be associated with her. And from that moment onwards, I kind of decided that superstitions or stupidstitions are not for me. I ain't got time for that. However, I do remember a time when my childhood, my home life was a bit weird at times. And my dad was like super busy, worked all the hours. You know, he's kind of, so he was a bit grumpy when he was at home sometimes, and it wasn't always the nicest atmosphere, but he worked so hard, and he had all these kids to raise and stuff. So I'll never really understand how much he went through, and my stepmom as well, because you know I've not gone through that. I don't know how difficult it is. I know it is difficult, so I'm not being hatey. But it wasn't a nice atmosphere sometimes, but. And I don't know why this happened, but my dad seemed in a good mood. I came home one day. I mean, normally my dad wouldn't even be at home. He wouldn't get home till like 5:30, 6. And he'd be out before I went to school, and he'd be back after, you know, a couple of hours before I went to bed. So just always working. But I didn't kind of realise that he was doing that for me and my brothers. He wasn't doing it for him. He didn't need to do all those hours just for himself. Or if he did, he would have been very, very wealthy. So I didn't appreciate it at the time, but it's not really for the kids' job. It's not the kids' job to appreciate what the parents do. I think things like appreciation comes later in life. Any parent or any adult that moans that their 13-year-old or 14-year-old or 8-year-old or whatever doesn't appreciate all the work they put in needs to listen to themselves, because it's a ridiculous thing to say. I understand why you'd want appreciation, but kids it's not their job to do that. It's a job to be obnoxious, you know, like little kids and stuff, as you see on TikTok. So, obviously I know not everyone on TikTok's a little kid, but there are some on here that are just horrible, like really, and I guess that's a way to vent, isn't it? Because you can do it. So Jess says, how am I? Hi Jess, I'm fine, thank you. Hope you're well. Some people have to, it's a way to vent, and it's quite a safe place to vent and to say this stuff. Someone says, I like your shirt. It is a little bit loud, isn't it? A little bit bright, a little bit woo-ah, a little bit. I'm just remembering something that someone said earlier. Someone put a comment saying something like, I'm so glad that you felt safe enough to come out to everyone today. Something like that. I found it funny. Yeah, anyway, I got home, so finished school at 3:30? So I'm home by 3:45, 3:50, 4, depending on how long I took. I guess obviously, really. And my dad was there. My two brothers were there, upstairs, or somewhere. And I don't know what it is he had, but he did this a couple of times. One occasion he had a computer, like a Spectrum, one of the first computers that you could play games on, but you had to program it and all that stuff. And the atmosphere in the house was really nice. I had zero interest in computers, but I was really pleased with how my other brothers were happy. Like my middle brother, the one just above me, he was really into it, and he was learning to code and stuff like that, program language, whatever it was back then. But he was happy, which meant there was no arguing going on between us. And it was nice, you know? It was actually a nice atmosphere. And I liked that. It was a nice... But... And another time, it was kind of like the next week. It was on a Thursday for some reason, or a Wednesday. I think it was a Thursday. So I come home, and my dad's got something else. I don't know. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was like something to do with a snooker table or something upstairs, and like it's like wow. So I started to associate getting home on a Thursday with positivity, with feeling happy, which was a very, just because other people were in a good mood, I was being left alone. I could just do what I wanted to do, which is generally watch TV or read, or in my own room. And everyone was in a good mood. And then I started thinking, which way did I walk home? Because I used to go different ways home from school. Depends on which exit I'd come out. Pretty much the same distance, but it's just sometimes nice to go different routes. And I was literally trying to figure out if I did I go on the right hand side of the road, was it on the pavement, or was it on the left hand side? Did I stop and talk to anyone? Did I go straight there? Did I stop at the newsagents to buy a Kit Kat? I don't know. Probably never. I might have done. I went through this period when I was delivering newspapers in the evening, and I used to get, what was it? Soft mints. They were new. They just kind of come out, soft mints. And I used to buy bonbons, like the white ones that were just toffee. And I think I'd mix those together and perhaps add something chocolatey as well. And it'd be this mixture of stuff in my mouth, like just all sweet stuff. And it's almost like a little experiment, and I tried different flavours and stuff. And I always had a tummy ache at the end of it. Oda, can I say... Can I say hi, Maria? This is from Oda. Hi, Maria. There you go. But yeah, I was trying to figure out the exact footsteps I was taking, thinking. So that's kind of superstitious, but I suppose that is superstitious, isn't it? Superstition doesn't have to be about something bad. It can be about thinking that by doing something you're going to make it nice. I don't know. So, I've got someone trying to get me to say words. So I'm on to you people. Just trying to say, can you say hello to I don't know. I'm not going to say it, but like a word, 2 words or 2 names that comes up and it sounds rude if you say it out loud. So no. Okay, all right then. Will. There's a few people asking me to say. So Will says hello, Annie. So hi, Annie from Will. Thank you. Thank you for coming. So yeah, Friday the 13th. This is from Cheryl. I'm a little bit, when it comes to Friday the 13th, but generally I'm not that bothered. Finney's fast asleep. I sometimes think he loves me because he's right close to where I am. So it's nice that he wants to be near me. Christine asks me, are you gaining more followers on TT? Is it going good for you? Well, I've got a few more followers, the TikTok. The lives are hard work because of the amount of horrible things that are being said to me. There's some nice things being said as well, but I know that some of those things are just making fun of me as well. The videos I post are getting good numbers now. So people are watching my videos that's on my profile. I don't know. I've only really been on here since just before the beginning of the year. So it's still early days, really, Christine. But I think it's going all right. I think so. I've had a couple of weird moments. But it's about trying not to bite, and see, I'm live now, and people, I'm not giving the attention to people that are watching because I'm making a podcast. But if I was live without being on, like recording it as a podcast and let people talk, it'd go in a different direction. I did it the other day. I've done it 3 times. 3 times I've actually gone live and let people come into my box. And the first time I had mainly males being rude, and then I had a couple of females come on and they were really nice, really friendly. After that one, I suddenly started having more people watching my videos. Like the audience grew from that live I did. Even though most of the stuff was negative. And then I went live a couple of weeks ago, and I had people being really poking me, like really trying to kind of get under my skin, and they did. Actually, it worked for them. So apparently I got to do my shirt up. Okay, sorry about that. It's hot in here. I mean, I don't normally wear shirts. I normally wear t-shirts, so, So, sorry about that, Rudy. Good boy. That's it. I'm glad that you think a good boy. It's anything you need, just let me know. I'm happy to oblige. If you got a biscuit you want to chuck it, or a stick, I'll chase the stick for you. So it's stuff like that, it's that's kind of harmless, but there's a certain topic that people like to keep going on about, and it's more to do with my age, and because I'm a lot older than the average audience on here. But it's hard to try to explain. See, if they looked at my profile on TikTok, they'll see that I'm really not on here to cause problems for anyone. I'm not on here to do anything weird. I've got videos, hypnosis videos and relaxation videos. It's kind of clear what I'm doing on here, why I'm here. I guess it's about more people realising what it is I'm doing. And I mean, part of the reason I go live when I do a podcast is I've got a neighbour, she's got a new dog. The dog actually sounds like Vinny. Why would they get a dog that has the same sounding name? If it's Benny or something, which sounds like Vinny the way. And the window's closed, I can still hear her. And she was shouting at her other dog, and now she's got a new dog, and she's gone back to the same thing. Late at night, early in the morning. And the shouting, come here, come here. Goes on for like half an hour sometimes. It's not even an actual garden. It's like a little bit of land, just a tiny little bit. Well, it doesn't personally affect me. It sounds like it does. It's just Vinny. Jason, love your Bore Me to Sleep podcast. Thank you. Can you hear her on here? Can you? Thank you. Thank you for liking my podcasts. I appreciate that. So yeah, I don't know. As far as TikTok goes, I don't know. Who says no? Why are you saying no? Die Jason, love your Let Me Bore You to Sleep podcasts, and then no, so you don't. I don't know. I'm confused. We'll just see what goes on really with it. I'm okay. It's going okay. I like to see the stats rising and that. You know what I mean? I'll do like a bit of stats. I like to see what's going on. See things improving. They seem to be improving. So I'll just have to wait and see. I mean, every time I go live, I seem to get a bit more traction with the videos. So, I mean, I guess I'm thinking of this as kind of like an advert, an advert so people will come on here, see my funny face, probably go to my profile thinking, what the heck's going on here? And hopefully, instead of seeing some random pictures of me just standing there or whatever it might be, eating a hot dog, they see that there's all these videos for relaxing and sleeping. So I'm just thinking that might be useful. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry. So you can't hear the dog. Cool. I can't hear the dog. It's just the human shouting to the dog. That's all I hear. And it's 9 o'clock. It's too late to be shouting in the garden. There should be rules. Okay, so yeah, that's where I am with that, Christine. Regarding TikTok, I'm not really. Yeah, it's all right. I'm just have to wait and see. I don't know. It's a little bit distracting when I'm doing a podcast, and if it's okay a little bit with the Q&A Friday, because if people have got questions, I can answer them as well. because I don't always have many questions. Although I got one from Ali, which says, how many hours a day do you spend working on your podcasts? It's hard to say really, because like today I've spent 2.5, 3.5, nearly 4.5 hours making podcasts so far today. So I've been on here for 1 hour and 40 minutes. I was 2.5 hours on the one I did earlier, the hypnosis relaxation one. So I normally don't spend that much time, but it's not just the making of the video, it's all the other stuff that goes with it. So the editing, the processing, waiting for stuff to upload, and then sharing it out, making images, thumbnails, all that stuff. It's very time consuming. So it's kind of, I pretty much do 3 things in my day, like sleep and podcasts, like podcast related stuff. But I also do relax and, get calm and stuff. Yeah, listen to recordings. Listen to my own recordings actually as well. So yeah, it's kind of like I start first thing when I wake up till last thing at night when I go to bed. But I'm not like doing it solidly. But I am kind of thinking about it a lot of the time. What should I do next and all that stuff, Heidi says, I thought you deleted TikTok. What made you go back? I did delete it when I was being... Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one. I kind of rose to the occasion in the wrong way. And I did delete it. And then I thought, but what about all my videos? Because people, before I started going live, I was getting, I think I was struggling to get like 70, 50, 60 video views. But since I started going live, it seems to give them a boost. And I'm getting sometimes, I've got one, I think I got thousands and thousands of views on one I did the other day. But today I've got, I think, over 600 views. And I uploaded that about 11 o'clock this morning. So yeah, it's going all right. Going live seems to be useful in that way. I'd like to think that going live would be useful for people that just want to chill out, just want to relax, have me as background, blabbering on background, like white noise, I guess. But so that's why I came back, and I thought, why should I be chased away by something, just some horrible comments? So I decided not to. I mean, it would have made more sense if I just blocked them. I know that people have lots of different accounts and stuff, but Lucas asked me, do you make videos for a living? No, I don't. I make nothing from this. I could be monetized on YouTube if I want, but I don't have enough, because my YouTube channel is fairly new, so I don't get many people on there. I've only got like 1,000. What's on YouTube? Let's have a look. Wow, it's going very slow. I've got 1,642 subscribers on YouTube. I don't do anything for work. I've got a 8:34:18. That's weird. YouTube doesn't really know what to think of me, I think. I think part of the reason for that is because I do different things, and I really should stick to just one thing. But the problem is, I like doing the Let Me Boy to Sleep podcasts. But I do also see the value of the hypnosis podcast as well. So it's kind of, you know, what are you going to do? It's hard to choose one over the other. And the hypnosis is where I kind of came from all those years ago. So yeah, no, I don't work. I've got bipolar. I am mentally disabled. I'm sure there's lots of lovely words that people can call me after telling people that, but yeah. So I try and make use of my time by helping people. That's it, really. It's kind of it. That's why I do what I do now. It's not why I started doing it. I was just doing it to help people. When I started, 20 years ago. And then I was diagnosed with bipolar back in December 2011, and then again in 2013 or 14. 13, 14, one of them. And yeah, 14. So I'd kind of, and also a personality disorder. So yeah, that's it. So I can't work. I am officially disabled, I guess, I suppose. That's why I am on disability. But I like to think that I'm contributing to society. Maybe not my initial society around me, but worldwide. I reach people all over the world. Pretty much every country, people listen to me. So yeah, I think I'm trying to convince myself now that what I'm doing is worthwhile. That's terrible, isn't it? But hey, that's it from me. I'm going to go. So I've answered a few questions off of TikTok live, and also answered all the questions off of my Facebook group, Jason Newland's Boring Group on Facebook. So thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself, because you do deserve to be happy. And be gentle with yourself. You deserve to feel safe. Lots of love. Bye.